Welcome back, you beautiful dice chuckers, to the Dice Hosers podcast, the most listened to podcast out of my Burlington garage to the rest of Canada. Now, we've got 52 followers so far, so we've actually
Oh shit.
a 500% increase. So it's on the way up.
My
So
grandma
no, it's
did subscribe.
yeah, there you grandma subscribe. Hit that button, subscribe. So usual me, Craig, your host, with my co-host Derrick, and we've got a special guest today. We're going to be interviewing Captain Canada himself. He wouldn't call himself that. We came up with it about 5 minutes ago, but I'm pretty sure that, well, he was the WTC team captain for Team Canada, so it just goes. Although I heard that you were voluntold you were going to be the captain for Team Canada. I don't know if that's quite true, so we'll get to the truth of that in a moment. But we have Tony Yeuh with us, who is also not only Team Canada captain, but he is also the back-to-back defending champion of the Canadian Nationals at the CTC in Ottawa. So welcome, Tony. How you doing?
Yeah, thanks, Craig. Good, good. It's I played a lot of boat action in the last month or so.
Right.
And yes, I was voluntold to be captain. There was no official election process. It was just yeah.
You are the
I
man.
I was told to lead, and I did.
Nice, sweet. So, how before we kind of jump over and Derek's going to chat with you about WTC, how long have you been playing bolt action?
I started playing. I think 2021 was when I first saw the models, and my first boat action model was actually a KV2 because I was playing World of Tanks back then, and
Nice.
the Soviet fridge is everybody's favorite vehicle. So
Yeah.
I got that, and then realized that it came with infantry, and then started. Once you have something, you have to kind of build an army out of it. That's
Yeah.
the rule. I don't make the rules. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just been playing. I started out playing in Hamilton, which was kind of a drive for me back
Yep.
then. But then, yeah, I started playing tournaments all around Ontario and just kept going.
Nice, sweet. So we've bumped into you in a few of those tournaments.
Yeah.
Don't usually come off very well, but they've always been fun. I had a great
For
time.
those of you that have been following and I say Tony's my nemesis, that's the Tony. Right there.
That's me. I always make people's flamethrowers not work for some reason. Just
That's
No,
right.
I always feel like I'm just that close, and then I think the best I've ever done is a tie with you. So
yeah, I do remember that game. You were playing Japanese. It was at Tista Minis actually
Yep.
a couple years ago. Yeah.
It was always fun. If you guys ever have Tony as opponent, he is competitive, but he is not grindy competitive. He's having a great time with you. It's always an enjoyable game, which is why I find it fun to call him my nemesis. Just because, and I'm sure there are more than me out there. As you can tell, if he's the back-to-back CTC winner, so he doesn't just crush my dreams, crushing dreams everywhere.
I will take that as a compliment, but I do try to be a good opponent most games.
Most games.
Only against you, I bring out the truly competitive side.
I am honored.
Right.
So you want to get into this, the WTC first portion, and then we'll move on to CTC? Yeah. Okay, so
sounds good.
I guess the first thing is, Tony, why don't you describe and tell us what the WTC is, for those that are living in the back of an igloo?
Yeah, so WTC stands for the World Team Championships, and I don't know about other years, but for this year, there's 3 games in that event. The event involves 3 games, which is Star Wars Legion, Middle Earth strategic board game, or something like that. Yeah. MESBG, and then there's obviously boat action. It is one of, if not the largest competitive event for boat action, I believe. So for WTC, it's a World Team Championship. This one is a team event. So every team has 4 players. I think this time there was 30 teams in total. They do have a singles tournament along the same kind of format. But WTC is definitely, probably the biggest bolt action tournament you can probably go to. And this was the first year that we had a Team Canada going. So yeah,
that's great. So 120 players. That's
120 players.
huge.
120 tables. That's even more impressive.
You divide by there's 4 tables, right? So it's going to be 60 tables.
60 tables. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah,
Still,
but
that's still
there's
a lot
probably
Still a lot.
yeah, there's still probably like 100 something tables with the other 2 games. It was like there was a lot of people in that. It was kind of like a convention hall. They had a lot of players.
Nice.
And it was in Denmark, right, this year?
Yep, it was Copenhagen, Denmark.
Right. So because it moves around, not North America, just Europe.
Yeah,
generally, yeah.
Maybe one day he'll come to North America, but unlikely because that means that out of the 30 teams, like 25, 26 of them will have to fly over.
Yeah. So what made you want to go? What made you want to be the first Team Canada to go over? Because generally everybody kind of flakes out when they find the total cost of going for 4 days and, not really a vacation place with family and whatnot. It's easier obviously for European teams to get into that, but for the Australia, US, Canada, it's a little bit of a trek.
Yeah, it's well, the community here has been talking about going to WTC for a couple of years now, actually, and I think since 2024, we've talked about it at CTC 2024, and there's some people interested. There's obviously a lot of logistical concerns of how much it is, where it's going to be, and like if we can bring family and things like that. But I think this year it just all kind of worked out where one of my teammates, Daniel, you guys have played against him. You guys know him from a lot of tournaments. He moved back to Germany last year, but he's still Canadian, and
the friendly German.
Yeah, he's our vanguard. He's our scout. Just to he's in Europe, so it was an easier trip for him. But like I say, easier, but it was still like an 11-hour train ride for him to get to Copenhagen. But yeah, we just sort of finally had 4 people who were able to kind of commit to the plan early this year. I think end of January was when we all said, okay, we're gonna make this happen. We made the Discord channel. That's how it's serious. And by February we got the flights booked, and I think we also got the tickets around that same time. So after that, it was just preparation, as we like to call it.
Excellent.
So it was yourself, Tony, Robert, Shuring, Daniel. So Robert's from Oshawa, you're Toronto, Daniel's in Germany, and your 4th player was
Andrew.
Is it
Buchan?
Buchan?
Yeah, he's in Ottawa.
Yeah. So awesome.
Shout out to those guys. They made this happen. They are as great of a team as I can ask for. So yeah, big shout out to those guys.
And so it was from a fairly spread out area when you think of Ontario, but it wasn't a truly national team. So anybody outside of Ontario, hey, step up. But don't think you were represented because you weren't wanted. It was just 4 guys that got it together and they could say they were from Canada. It wasn't supposed to be a smash on anybody else. Even though
actually, yeah, speaking of that, we Greg, he came over from Calgary, I believe, to the CTC. I know we're not getting to that yet, but yeah, he's already been chatting with us about going to WTC 2027.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, once we've had a first experience of going to WTC, I think it really opens up a lot more conversation on what's next.
Nice. So did you have fun?
Yes, it was a very good trip, both in the games, meeting the people there, and just the city itself. It was a very enjoyable experience.
Did they Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying like I was already considering going back even before we left Copenhagen. So yeah,
Wow.
it was
Do you know where it
Nice.
is next year?
they haven't
They usually don't
they're,
announce it right away, do they?
yeah, they're still planning. There's some conversations before we left that it might be in Copenhagen again because they already figured out
Hmm.
all the behind the scenes stuff for that location, for that venue. So
Right.
there's a chance, which could be bummer for some people who's been there already. But
Yeah.
Did they set you up with a chaperone or anything to show you the sites, or were you just Team Canada? You're on your own. We'll see you at the table.
Actually, yeah, we I was talking to Bo
Yep.
Mortensen.
Yep.
So just before we flew over there, talked to him about what's good in the city, what's kind of happening the days before and after the event. I know some of the other teams, like the Australian teams, they were playing games before and maybe even after WTC.
Oh.
Yeah, so they take it pretty seriously. But yeah, like a lot of the actual vacation time we planned by ourselves because like it's just up to us to decide what we want to see, what the museums and castles we want to. There's a lot of them there, by the way, in Copenhagen. There's like I don't think you can kind of look in any direction without seeing one.
Nice.
So I guess my next question is kind of moot. Would you go again? Overall?
Yes.
Like not just
Yes.
Copenhagen, but CTC or WTC itself?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it was it's a very unique experience to be in that kind of mindset, to look at the meta of all the lists from probably the best, actually, yes, the best players in the world. So like being in that, just in that mindset and the preparation leading up to the event, and actually being there talking to some of these players, like that's an experience you can't really get anywhere else. So yeah, absolutely, we'd go back.
Nice. Without making individual trips everywhere. It's nice.
Yeah.
So
How sorry, Derek, just a quick question. How was Team Canada received? Because this was the first year that Team Canada was there. What what was it like when people learned that Canada had a team there? What was the kind of the reception from the other teams, or was it just, no, it's another team?
Yeah, I actually it's that's something I did think about even before we went. So I like, for us, it's not just trying to place well and play well in this event. It's also sort of a what do you call it? Like a publicity kind of
Yeah.
like a PR thing for us too, because it's the first time we're there. If we give off a bad impression, that's obviously not great.
Yeah.
So we made some custom dice, we made some custom stickers, just so that every opponent that we played, we give them something to like exchange a little gift, and also play nicely with I think we did. I think we did. Most
Typically
of them.
Canadian, nicely. I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Say
sorry I
sorry.
rolled two sixes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm like sorry. You have one unit left. Like it took 17 out of your 18 dice. I don't think
Yeah.
that happened. But yeah, like be nice about things. Talk to as many of the players as we can. Get to know the TOs, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of our like secondary objective. In addition to trying to play well, is to yeah,
so
get
we'll
get to talking. Yeah.
get into the brass tacks about it now that we've kind of talked about everything else. What armies did you guys bring?
Yeah, so I brought my Germans. It's the same army that I've been playing since I started Bolt Action. It's just like some models changed here and there, but that's mine. And then Robert, who's a very experienced Italian player, so he brought his Italians. Andrew brought his British, because at the time we didn't have a Commonwealth book yet, and felt fitting that Team Canada should have some sort of a Commonwealth army. And then Daniel in Germany, he brought his Soviets, and he built and painted a whole new Japanese army. for this event essentially. He's still playing it now, but yeah, so we got Germans, Italians, British, Soviets, and Japanese.
Were the Italians the new book Italians, or were they the old book Italians?
No, it was just under the cutoff date, so it was the old Italians.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what,
Yeah.
what the cutoff date was for that. So who did you guys play? Give us a breakdown of your rounds. Like what teams did you guys end up playing? Who was your opening match?
Yeah, so the formatting is well, so for the first round we played against Denmark too, and that was the round we had the most time to prepare for, because the pairings were up, I think, a few days. I think it was 3 days or just 3 days before the event. So we knew what their lists were. We knew who the players are. That was the one we had the most time to prepare for. But after round one, it kind of just depended on if you win or lose, you start to get matched differently. So Denmark 2 was our first match. We did win that one. Very nice guys. It was my first time personally playing against the Hungarians. And I'll talk about like Minor Nation and all that later on, I guess. But very, very good guys. We got their contact information. So if we are going back to Copenhagen next year, they're local, so we'll probably get in touch with them if that happens. So won that one. Round 2, we were up against Australia 1, which was the silver medalist from last year.
So right into the tough competition.
Yes, and tough it was. It was a very, very difficult matchup. I personally played against their team captain, Aaron Russell. Apparently, this guy's played 30-odd tournaments. He's never lost a game. So, and he kept that going. So he won. They
have
won.
a nemesis now.
Yes, I do very much look forward to the day that I get a rematch against him. Yeah, so we lost that one. I think as a team we had one win and 3 loss. So yeah, it was a good experience. They were, again, very nice guys. On the table, it was very cutthroat, but they were. Oh, sorry, I don't know if there was some.
Yeah, there was a bit of a chop. I thought I lost you, but you're there.
Yeah. No, I was saying, they're great guys. Very, very good players, but also very nice players. Round 3 was against Spain 3. That was one of the teams that we had a little bit of a language barrier, because they didn't speak. Well, they spoke English, but they weren't. There were some, especially when it comes to rules, there was some like misinterpretations and stuff. We lost that round, but I think it was the end of the first day. I was sleep deprived. I was hallucinating, I think. It was a tough day, but they were also very, very good players, but also very nice players. We had some photos with them. So yeah, overall first day was kind of like we had 1 win, 2 loss. It was we had a win coming out of the gate, so
yeah,
we weren't switching to plan B of going for the wooden spoon just yet. That I'm just kidding. We were never gonna do that. No, that was never really part of it. Anyway, so day 2, we were up against Denmark 5 for the first round. So round 4, I believe we had 3 wins and 1 loss as a team, so we won that one, which pushed us up the rankings again, going into round 5 against Spain 2. Spain 2 again, very experienced group of players. I was playing against their team captain again in that one. They from what I've heard, they've talked through and they've played and practiced again weekly for the last few months leading up to the event. And it was funny because when I was trying to match up our list against theirs, I was like, "Do you want to see our list?" And their captain is like, "No, we know your list." I'm like, that's the level of preparation I probably should have been at, but I was like, well, okay, well, that's you know what you're doing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
again, very
That's
very
no smash on you though. I've heard that Spain, all of their teams are very practiced. I don't want to say cutthroat because that's kind of got a negative connotation, but I've heard that they're very strong teams and they go in knowing what they want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. They have a good structure in how they practice, and I would even say train for events like this. They yeah, not like from the list building to the way they play these missions, and just the way they coordinate as a team and their team and internally they have they have a lot of local tournaments and they have to rank at a certain like elo rating to even get on these teams. So you know these are the best players that they're sending. So unfortunately, round 5 we did lose that round again, but that's okay. Moving on to round 6, in the last round we were up against Norway 1. I think they also have a couple of them have a YouTube channel talking about boat action and stuff. I can't say I've personally checked it out yet, but still on the list to do. But yeah, very, very, very fun players. And it was, at the end of six games for everybody. It was like at that point we were at 2 wins and 3 losses, so we weren't close to the top table. So a lot of that pressure kind of came off for both our teams. I think it was just we were there to enjoy the game truly, and you can really feel the atmosphere change, where like the entire room felt a lot more relaxed and all the pressure went to the top 2 tables.
Right.
Yeah. So and we did win our last round. So so we came away with 3 wins and 3 losses, which is I think pretty good. Yeah, considering our first year.
Well, first of all, it sounds like you completely owned the Scandinavian countries in the tournament. That's great, right? Which is, check. Beat Denmark's 2 of Denmark's team and the Norwegian team. That's great. And then, I mean, I think going to an uber competitive tournament with the world's, probably the majority of the world's best players there, and teams that have been going for years. I mean, Spain 1's been going and England 1 and so on. But I think to come away with having won one round would be, a check. Yeah, we've done that. But to walk away with a 50-50 record is pretty good, right? That's great. That's a great record. So
it sets the standard too.
Great.
Because nobody expects new countries to come in and do anything. So to come out 50-50 is probably turned a couple of heads.
Yeah, it was not bad. And I think like even the games that we've lost, it wasn't like a complete blowout where we just we couldn't do anything. It was a lot of very close matches that could have been decided with a few dice rolls. It was like it felt like we felt like we were doing our part in playing well. So
excellent.
Yeah.
So where did you net out at the end out of 30 teams? Do you know where you finally placed?
Yeah, it was kind of funny. So we ended up 15th overall, and then I think 6 hours after the results were out, we were bumped up to 14th.
All right.
So I honestly, at the end, I think we ended up at 15th, but so we'll call it that. So we were right in the middle at the end.
Where you would expect a 50-50 to be landing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. So
that's a great result.
You loved it. You loved Copenhagen was awesome. Tournament was great. What's the highlight?
Oh, the highlight from the games or from the city?
Let's do games first, and then we'll do city.
I think games. For me, I still think about game 2 for me personally.
The Aussie.
Yeah, that was the only game I lost. I had draws, but that was the only game I lost. And it was one of the 3 games now I've lost with my Germans. So it was it was close. I feel like I could have gotten a draw out of him, but yeah, just things didn't go well. But it was one of those games that really like leaves me thinking about it quite a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly, but like that aside, I think the highlight is just exchanging dice with the other players. I think that was the most fun part. People loved our stickers. Like we spent more money on the dice, but people loved the stickers more, I think.
Right.
But yeah, that was the best part to have that.
Do you have a sticker you can hold up to the camera, or?
Yeah, I think I got one here. So we got one of these. I think this is the only one I have left, actually.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Canadian Cobra.
Yeah. The Cobra chicken. And then we also have a Team Canada one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome too.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was good. And I guess the city highlight for the city, probably the Kronborg Castle was probably the best one. It's Hamlet's Castle. I don't know if I think I butchered the pronunciation for that, but yeah, very cool place. They had like guns and all that stuff still laid out there. But yeah, I think there's we did so much in the 3 days after the tournament. I think we walked like 35,000 steps a day for the 3 days. It was
wow,
a lot of walking. Again, Robert, I'm sorry to make you walk that much. But yeah, it was a good time after.
Yeah, Robert's old like us, not young pup like Tony is. So if that's the highlight, what was more stressful, strategizing as a captain or actually playing the game once you were at the table? Where did you find the most pressure coming from, or stress?
I think now that I think about it, it was more stress as a captain because I felt like it would have been on me to put my team in a bad matchup, even though sometimes like we did talk about that potentially we would put somebody in a very bad matchup against one of their hyper competitive best player, just so that the other three will have a chance while we will have that kind of strategy. But overall, I think I did okay with the matchups because I did like every round that we had after the first one, we had a brief kind of team meeting, if you call it that, to kind of talk about what lists we're going up against. So yeah, I think that part was like, I definitely want to be more prepared for that if I go back next year, of just knowing not just the top list, but all the lists that are in the event a bit better. But yeah, I think having that pressure of making sure everybody not only just have a good matchup and like do well in terms of the results, but also have fun with the games. So it's not like I don't want to put somebody up against a completely terrible matchup and they just getting beaten up the entire time, even if that could potentially be a strategy we're going for. Like that's obviously not going to be the best experience for spending all that money to go to a different
get my ass kicked 6 times.
Yeah.
But we came in first.
Yeah.
So was there a moment where your preparations or your practice directly won you or your team a game, like that you can remember where you won and you're like, we practiced this, or something along that line? Was there something like an aha moment at any point in time?
I think game 1 and game 5 was when I thought the preparation was good. Game 5, because it was one of those missions, it was timely objectives, and that was one of the missions that we've talked over and over again. And I think overall our team did. We still lost that round, yes, but I think we could have been beaten a lot worse, to be honest, in that round, because timely objectives, it is a very swingy game, because if you get on there, you can't really if your opponent has the first 3 turns on the objectives, the game's basically over at that point. So, you know, it is a mission we practice a lot, and I think having that confidence going into that round was good. And for round 1, because we had so much time to look at the lists and think about all the different matchups that we could potentially. I don't know if you guys know how the format is to figure out what the 4 players will go up against, but there's different, like the 2 captains kind of have to match up the different lists that you have.
Yeah, don't you put 2 lists down, he puts 1 list down, and it's on the table that it's going to be played on?
So yeah, it's so each, yeah, I guess I'll go through that. So each team puts up a scout list, so we'll put 1 up each, and then the opponent would choose 2 of their lists to call their frontline list, and those 2 are what the opposing team would choose to. One of those lists will be chosen by the opponent to play against their scout list, and the other one's going to fall to play their rear guard list, and it'll be the same thing on the other side. So I think it's a pretty good system, because you kind of have an exactly 50% say in what list goes against which. So for round 1, I had plenty of time before the event to think about what potential matchups to avoid and what would be the best outcome. And like basically like all the permutation of the 5 lists that we have put up against each other. So yeah, it was we actually did get, I think, the best or second best outcome that I was hoping for. So yeah, that one worked out pretty well.
Are all the tables identical, or how did the tables get mixed up with the list pairing? Because I thought there was something of that aspect in it too.
Yeah, I don't know about previous years, but for this year, all 4 tables are exactly the same.
Oh, okay. So that wasn't an issue at that point then.
Yeah, it was well, not exactly, because it really depends on, like, there might be like millimeters of difference on where the terrains are placed, but yeah, it was the same format. They have 4 sets of the same terrain built for each round. Yeah,
that's cool. Well, what if someone was interested in going next year, what would they need to do, Tony?
I think the easiest way would be to chat with one of us who's gone this year. But if there's another group of players in Canada that I haven't talked to, or we haven't talked to yet, and they want to send their own team, that's great too. Like I don't think we have a, like, hey, if you can get your own team going from, I don't know, from Vancouver or from further east, that's fine. But I think if you want to know how this one went, I'm putting together a quick write-up on some of the experience as well. So, come talk to me, come talk to the team. I think that would be a good way to go about it.
Like you said, Denmark had 5 teams. So there's nothing saying Canada can't send 2 that had nothing to do with each other. One from the Western, one from Eastern or Central, or however that plays out. So it's not like you're saying, it's not like we've got a monopoly on it. We said, no, damn it, we're the only team. That's not the case. Any 4 people that want to put a team together, good, bad, or indifferent, go. Have fun. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Tony, you're on Bolt Action Canada Facebook group, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that might be a good place for anybody in different parts of Canada who just want to ask the question, or we can maybe post on there if anybody's interested. So, I mean, we'll post this episode on there anyway. Yeah. But if that also might be a place, if anyone's interested, just put a hand up and go, hey, who do I talk to, and such. So go from there.
Yeah, for sure. As they get closer to next year's event, once they start posting up locations, dates, things like that, I'll definitely try to be more active in the community and put some stuff up. Like that. All that being said, like I would love to talk to another Canadian team if there's another one going. I feel like it would be beneficial for both teams to at least know each other, see where we're staying. Just logistically, it will make sense to have that communication, right?
Yeah,
Definitely.
and you said Greg Sprague from Alberta was potentially interested, right?
Yeah, I added him to our Discord server. So he's already on there. So whenever we have details on next year, we'll start planning.
Okay.
That's a little bit
I
more
think
of
I
a
might.
haul for him. That's like an extra 9-hour flight, 6-hour flight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Greg's kind of loves bolt action. Like he's
No, I'm just saying
fantastic.
anybody else he brings in general, they're going that much
Right.
further.
Yeah. Well, I might throw my hat in the ring. I think I might be interested in going next year. So I've wanted to go. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah,
So-
again, like,
Go
sorry.
ahead. No, go. You're talking.
No, I was just gonna say, like, if like it doesn't, like, Greg might, he might be by himself. He might have one or two guys from there, but like once we have a number of players who know for sure are going to commit to the event next year, I think that would be like early, like January, February, and then we can plan from there. Yeah.
And the event's in April, right?
May.
May.
Well, this year is in May, but I don't know if it'll be. It should be around the same time next year.
Yeah. Cool.
So, with that in mind, what is something about the WTC prep that most players would underestimate or maybe not realize? Like what was something that you were like, oh shit? Like, did you have while you were prepping, getting ready, was there something that just kind of surprised you, jumped out at you that you're like, didn't think of that at all?
I'm so glad this question is on your list because that's I like there is, well, the main thing I feel like I was lacking in is knowing the rules well, which is I would say surprising even to myself because I do consider myself knowing the bolt action rules quite well, having played the game for even the version 3 rules quite well at this point. But that was not the case because there's too many edge cases. There's a lot of FAQ and errata kind of nuances that like I just didn't think I was fully prepared for in the moment, and especially like not even just at WTC. A few things came up at the CTC as well, where I just felt like I could definitely use a lot more time reading the rulebook, FAQ, and any other material just a little bit more, and just be able to answer some of the more difficult questions on the spot. And that would not only benefit me in my games, but like if it was me or whoever else as the team captain, whenever there's rules disputes that comes up, you're the first person that will have to answer that before it goes to the TO. And the TOs obviously would prefer that you will be able to resolve that. So yeah, that's the main thing I think my preparation was lacking in, which is something that I would be working on for the rest of this year leading up to next WTC.
Can you give us an example of one of the edge case that you ran into? That kind of took you by surprise?
I think the one that came up that I was most unsure of was in game 4 against Denmark 5, their team captain, where it was table quarters and the rule of if you have a unit that's straddled across 3 zones, which one does it count as being in?
It's
like things like that. And,
is it not? And I'm going to throw this out here because I thought I've run into this. Is it not the one that has the majority of the unit in, or is it your choice? Like, what was the?
So that's where it comes in. Is it your choice if you have a unit of 6 and you have 2 and 2 and 2?
I see.
Right, and then luckily in this case it wasn't like that. It was what was written in the WTC FAQ, I believe, versus what the rulebook said, and which one takes precedence.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, because like I think in the rulebook there is a phrasing of the majority of the unit, and there was something else in the FAQ. I might be completely wrong about this at this point because I don't remember fully what the situation was, but that was kind of the deciding factor in whether the game was a win for me or it was a draw. Yeah. So things like that, I wish I like not only know the rule better to be able to well, yeah, not only know the rule better, but know where to find the rule quicker. Because in those situations, like right, like you at least know which document it's in to be able to reference, right? That kind of stuff.
Right. It's like you need an archivist.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
that's all the questions I have for the WTC. So I'm gonna turn the rest of the interview over to Craig for the CTC.
Okay, so the CTC Canadian Tabletop Championships, which
I
is
was just
held
gonna
in
say you got to make that
Ottawa.
clear.
Which is held in Ottawa. Um, Tony, just give us a brief overview of what the Bolt Action CTC is. So it's the Nationals, which is Canada's official main event for Bolt Action. But can you just explain a little bit the format?
Yeah, so CTC has been running for many years. I don't think I've been to. Yeah, I wasn't there at the first one. They've been running it for, I think, 3 or 4 years before I even started Bold Action. Of course, pandemic took it off the scenes for a little bit. But it's one of the largest events for all the games involved in Canada, if not Ontario, if not Canada. But for Bold Action, it has been one of the largest competitive events, I think, for like 5 years now. There are a few tournaments here and there that has more turnouts, but those, including the ones that you guys actually host in Burlington. But I would say those are more geared towards like a fun kind of less competitive kind of event. Whereas CTC and now the Canadian Nationals, that it is a bit more competitive, and for the past few years, we've had teams. The USA WTC team was here last year and the year before, and this year we've had a couple guys not only flying over from Calgary, but somebody came over all the way from Texas. So that was quite a long flight for him, but yeah, it's a big event.
If he's enjoying it, yeah. If he's enjoying the North, and it's 2 days, right? So now it's 5 games, not 6 games, right? Over the 2 days.
Yes, yeah, 5 games. Very standard format, 2.5 hours a game. And Paul Saunders. Yeah, he's the TO. He's been running this since the beginning. Very good TO, very good guy. He's had to put up with us asking all sorts of weird, annoying questions for all these years, including this event. So
yeah. We've got an interview with Paul that we did, I think at the very start of this season, actually. So if anybody's interested, last season we interviewed Paul. We talked about CTC. So if you want to know more about that, you can go to our website and check it out. So what army did you take then? What did you take to go and defend your title with?
I took a very slightly modified version of my WTC list. In hindsight, I probably would not have done that because it was not built for the missions in CTC.
Right.
So if I could do it again, I'd probably take a slightly different list, but that's the one I brought because I figured, it's the list I was most practiced with, so might as well try it out.
Right. And is the German list then your go-to faction typically for lists?
It's been kind of changing. Like I wouldn't say I necessarily chase the meta with my list, but for the past 2 years that I went to CTC, I ran my Soviets for 2024 and 2025. But yeah, the German list, like it's my first bold action army, so, and it's the first army that I actually brought to CTC, so figured they deserve a second chance. So
Yeah.
Here they are. Yeah.
And so how did your games go? Like how did each game go? You probably, I don't know if you remember them all, but Like, how do you remember the army that you were playing against for each round, or how
Yep.
the result went?
Yeah, I try to remember all my games, but it's been many years and it's hard to keep track of all the games. But this one's recent enough, so I can still remember. So game one was against Ted. He's a newer player. I've actually played against him in a previous tournament at Brawl in the Hall
Oh,
a
right, yeah.
couple months ago. He's a slightly newer player. He brought his Marines. It was he made a risky move in like pretty early in the game, where he drove up with a bunch of flamethrowers and I blew up his transport, and it kind of just, if it went the other way, if he got the first die, then he would have pushed through and I would have been in a lot of trouble, but
Right.
didn't turn out that way. Luck was on my side for that one, so yeah, it was scary. It's always scary to have three flamethrowers running at you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so I won that one. The second game was against Tanner, who was Canadian champion in 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2023. He brought his Germans with a lot of half tracks, a lot of veterans. Again, it was one of those games where it was very tight up until turn 2 or 3, and then dice and just, I think a little bit of luck gave me an edge, and then I kind of just kept pushing through. So I won that one. Again, Tanner is a very, very good player. He's took a break from bolt action for a little bit, but he came back this year, and was a tough game against him. But yeah, that was one of the matchups that I didn't really want to didn't really want to be in round 2, but it worked out.
Yeah.
Game 3 was against Andrea, I think his name was. He's also a newer player. He started playing in February, I think he said.
Okay.
And we were playing one of those missions where if you have a good first and second turn, you win the game, period.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was one of the games that I think it was the most flusters I've got in a game ever, because it was it was a little mistake on my part in the first turn, and then he got the objectives. He kept running away from it, from like, so you're trying to get the objective off the table on your own side.
Right.
So it's one of those missions where like I kept trying to push. He ended up winning that game. There was a lot of close moments that I wish Dice could have helped me a little more, but he for a relatively new player, he was very, 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 very good.
Okay.
He knew exactly what to do with the units, good unit placement, good like dice priority, that kind of stuff. So a very fun game. Andrea, if you're watching this, I'm sorry again for being less a little more competitive than I usually would have liked myself to be, I guess, in a situation like that. But
Yeah.
it was a good game. Game 4 was against Mark. Mark's been playing and hosting tournaments and doing all sorts of stuff around Ontario, also known as Dewey Cat.
He's the TO for Brawl in the Hall as well, right?
Yeah. So a great game against him. At that point I was to be honest, after game 3, I was a little unsure of how I was gonna do, and yeah, like against Mark, it was a very close game until I think turn 6, and we went into turn 7, and it was like slight. It was one of those games that was decided very, very late. It could have gone either way. Again, very good game. Mark's always very fun to play against. He took his Italians. But yeah, so game 1 was the Marines. Game 2, Tanner took Germans. Game 3, Andrea brought British. Mark brought his Italians. And then game 5, I was playing against Wade. Yeah, Wade, again, a very, very experienced tournament veteran. He brought his Soviets, and it was a kill point mission. And that was yeah, I lost, like it got to a point where I kind of lost track of like what we're killing, and like I was just trying to get through the games because I was so nervous. And there was a that game I do think about, because at the very end, again, one of those rule things came up where you can't shoot AP rounds against infantry if you have the option. So if you, like, for example, like in my case, I had a light autocannon. You can't shoot AP rounds at infantry. You have to shoot the HE rounds. So if you were shooting at a one-man team, the best you can do, even with 8 shots out of an autocannon, is 1 hit. In our game, I don't think, if I remember correctly, I don't think it would have changed the outcome, but because I only hit with 1 of the 2 shots out of the autocannon. But again, if I did hit with both, and then if I roll 2 dice, it's one of those things that, like, that would have been truly on me if that was going to change the outcome of the game.
It's higher pen too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's higher pen, but I think like instead of like a 3 or 4 2 wound, it would be like a 2 or a 3, which I don't believe matter in our game. But yeah, it was one of those things that, like, I do feel like, as somebody who has played the game long enough, that I should know these kind of nuances a little better. And in the moment, I truly didn't know, which things like that, rule issues, something for myself to work on. But overall, again, very good game, very close. I think it was one of those missions that you need 2 victory points ahead of your opponent to win, and I had exactly 2, and it took all the way till turn 7. So if it ended on turn 6, it would have been a draw, and I think he would have ended up winning the event. So it came down to a few moments of single dice rolls to, very, very narrow win for me in the last one.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Getting better as a player. I don't think I can do that again.
Right. So you then took the title, took the nationals for a 2nd year in a row. So that's fantastic. What is there a different decision-making process you go through when you're playing individually versus playing in a team?
I think in terms of the game itself, not really. There's definitely more things going on in my head when there's other games to watch, just to kind of know where everybody is in terms of like if they're winning the game or not, if they're having issues with the opponents or not. But in an individual event like that, I can just, I don't really have to think about too much and just really look at the game itself. I guess less stress mentally, in a way.
Being individual, you mean?
Being individual, yeah.
Being individual, yeah. If there's one piece of advice that you can give to a player that wants to level up on the circuit or at tournaments, what would that be?
Know when to roll 6s, know when to roll 1s. That's about it.
Sounds like Sean's advice. Roll 6s.
Yeah, just roll 6s. Unless
not for morale checks, but roll 6s when you need them. But yeah, no, I think watch a lot of content. There's a lot more bolt action content now, I think, than before, at least for me, because I started watching more of them. I think seeing what lists are out there and seeing what other players are doing is very important. And I think it's also quite important to like decide if you want to play, because I think that applies for a lot of tabletop games, right? There is a competitive side and there is the beer and pretzel side, right? I think you really have to kind of make that distinction. And even for myself, like for a fun event, I wouldn't take what I would take to WTC or CTC. For a more fun event, I would take something that's a little more challenging to play, but a little more thematic or a little more fun. But if you do want to play, I think, any game competitively, like you really have to kind of buy into the meta or the process of building up a list that's for that process, right? Like it doesn't have to define you as a player, I think, because
Mhm.
I don't think anybody wants to play competitive all the time. Thematic and scenario games are always fun, but yeah, I think to be more competitive, you have to play more competitive.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that makes sense. I agree with that. I think playing more and looking at content and learning is a great way. What is a mistake you made during an event, whether it's the CTC, that less experienced players could learn from? Like, did you make a mistake somewhere that you would go, that's a rookie mistake, kind of a thing?
Oh, I think I make a lot of those. I just get away with it so much. Like,
Roll
yeah, I
sixes.
think,
Get yourself out of the hole.
yeah, I think no single mistake should ruin a game for you. I think it's usually a series of them that puts you in a position that's irrecoverable. Except in game 3 of CTC this year, where I had because it was forget what the mission is called, but it's against Andrea, but it was the one where you take an objective and you have to keep running it back every turn to take it off your own table edge. Now, for that mission, I had infiltrators and I had units that could go up the board very quickly to grab them, but I just messed up the order of how I which dice to when I pull my dice, which unit to move first. And I think that kind of mistake really sums up bolt action. If you activate the wrong unit first, that could cost you a game, or at least put you in a very, very bad spot, and it's much harder to come back from, and you need much more luck and many more sixes to come back from.
But I think that's kind of endemic of bolt action in general, because you never know if you're going to get that die before your opponent gets there. Like, so you're kind of always at the table thinking. You can't just assume that you're going to get, it's going to play out the way it would in any other game, because it's my turn. I move everything, I shoot everything, I resolve everything, you go. Like with this, there's like, I want to do this, and oh god, he did that. Now I have to do this, and like you're. I don't think I've ever played a game where you have like where I started the turn thinking this is what I want the end result to be, and not had like the dice have just said no, the end result's going to be here. Similar, but maybe not the direction I wanted it to go. You know what I mean? Like I think that's I like when you're saying what order and what you're doing, it's very important to know that there could be something that happens that's going to change your plan.
Yeah, for sure. Because you can't decide which dice get pulled at what time.
Yeah.
But I think one of the biggest like things that I need to be better at controlling is when you do get your own die, because that's when you have the control.
Yeah.
It's very easy for me to be tunnel vision into, like, I've been looking at this tank for the past 15 minutes and I want to move it, but there could be a better move. There could be a better unit to activate first somewhere else on the board. And it's very easy to give in to that urge of, oh, I want to shoot that tank now immediately because I think it's going to kill something. But that might not be relevant to the mission, or that might not be the best move. So taking that extra 10 seconds to decide which die to put down on which unit first. Yeah, I think like looking at just seeing the content of other like good players, they do, you can really tell in those videos, they take that moment of like recalculating of, okay, this is what I want to do, but is there something better that I can do? Right.
Yeah. I've had that where it's been, you're concentrating on this side of the board that you start pulling dice, and then your opponent pulls their dice and puts it over there, and you're like, oh shit, I had the opportunity to stop all that for 3 dice, but I've been so focused over here. So you're right, like take that step back, assess everything, don't just assess what you were currently thinking about.
Yeah. Exactly.
Tony, do you have a project planned, like for your next army project? Do you have something in the works?
Conflict 47 maybe?
Oh, I have too many armies that are unpainted or unbuilt, but yes, I have my Conflict 47 is probably the next big one, because a lot of the zombies are still painted / inbuilt. So that's a big one.
Welcome
I
to the
do.
dark side.
Yes, all those rift dice. I got the new rift dice too because I needed more of them. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. I really look forward to painting the zombie cart, the little walker thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a big one. I also have a British army that I'm still getting ready to paint up. And I also have a Japanese army that I'm
You're just
gonna
as bad as
that's
I
in the
am.
plans. There's more, but I'll just leave it at that for now. Those are the main ones that I'm working on.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you going to be playing in Foxholes and Firefights too in September, the 3-man team tournament?
Yeah, I've been looking at dates. I'm not 100% sure just yet, but I think I'll definitely try to make that one. Yeah.
Cool. Great to have you there. Cool. Okay. Well, thanks very much, Tony, for coming on and telling us about the WTC and the CTC, and appreciate your time on that and your adventures in Copenhagen. Next month, we're going to be taking a look at the new Armies of Commonwealth book, and maybe have another interview with Alessio if we can swing things. So we're going to get that. So remember, hoses, play smart, play fair, and blame the dice if it all goes wrong. Hoses out.
It's always the dice. Thank you guys so much.
No problem.
Thanks,
having me
Tony.
here.
Appreciate it.
Talk to you
Yeah,
guys
see you at the
later.
next
Thank you.